By the end of this video, you will have discovered the best way and fastest way, and also the easiest way to unlock all of your mastery camos for your shotguns and your pistols. And you'll want to pay very close attention to the challenges, particularly because as shown in one of my previous videos for the melee weapons, a lot of the things don't track and a lot of things overtrack, so you really want to pay close attention so you don't miss out on the shortcuts that I tell you about. So let's go ahead and start with our pistols, and I'll try to make this as quick as I possibly can. We're not going to go over every single pistol category for each camo. We'll do some breadth over depth, but we're going to start with the first pistol here, the Core 45. And as for the base camos, as you can tell, everything's pretty straightforward. We don't need to really go over that at all. For gold, you just need to get 10 kills without enemy damaging you, and that's pretty straightforward, except for the fact that you don't have to get 10 kills in a row, okay? You only need to get a kill, then you can die if you need to. In fact, I suggest dying so that it resets the tracking of that challenge. That's what I do, and it helps keep the tracking on track. Pun intended. But where it gets tough, and is the toughest always, is the platinum or the silver color, which is called forged in this case, which is get 15 kills on injured enemies with this weapon. That is pretty straightforward, but I'll show you an easy way to do it right now. Starting with the loadout, we have our gun, and all I'd really put on this thing is just an optic. But the most important thing here, I think, is the lethal. You want to make sure you're running thermite. Munition box doesn't really matter that much. Put on your running vest so you can run quickly and get around the map. You want to put your quick swap gloves on just so you can switch between your lethal and your weapon. Also, the fast running shoes to make you go fast, and then the ammunition so you can reload quicker. That's really all you need to worry about as far as the loadout. Now let me show you what I did in the gameplay in order to get these eliminations. Just like we were talking about in the loadout, you want to go ahead and use a thermite and try to injure an enemy as much as you can, and then run up on them and finish the kill with the weapon you're trying to level up, which happens to be our pistol. You'll notice here that I did throw a flash before throwing my thermite grenade because I hope to flash someone and make them stand still, and then throw my thermite to give them damage, and then run up on them and shoot them with my pistol so that I actually get that kill with the enemy damaged with the pistol that I need that challenge for. Now, if you don't want to look into it so much and do all of the stuff I just mentioned, you can simply drop into a game of Rust or Shipment and shoot players. Some of the times they will already be wounded from other people shooting them anyways. If you like how this video is put together so far, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos like this. Like the video and also share it with a friend if you want to help them out as well, or don't share it to your friend if you want to be competitive with them. Now let's move on to one of the most important parts of this video that you need to see, which brings up the second weapon. And it's one of the hardest weapons to actually get forged on because they know it's going to be a popular handgun. So for forged, you can tell that we need to get 25 long shots with the Renetti. And if you remember from Modern Warfare 2, one of my most successful videos was about long shots because for platinum in Modern Warfare 2, you needed to get long shots with every single weapon. They didn't manage to get it on every single weapon this time for Modern Warfare 3, but they did sneak it in a few, and this happens to be one for the Renetti. So since we have to do long shots for the Renetti, I'll go ahead and show you how we have it built. We have the MLX short compensator for the barrel because it's longer and more accurate. We have the FT steel fire muzzle. We have the Cronin Mini Pro, which is my favorite. And obviously you want to put a stock on this thing to keep it accurate because it is a 3-round burst. I went ahead and took off the big magazine for it because you don't really need it. And I'll show you right now how we got the long shots for this weapon. I know your first instinct is to go ahead and hop in Shipment and try to bust them out because you can get quite a few long shots in Shipment. However, I gotta say, I found it harder than normal because there's so many sweats in 24/7 Rust and Shipment right now. That being said, it is doable, but I gotta say, between Shipment and Rust for long shots, I think I have to go with Rust. And let me show you why right here. You can go almost anywhere in Rust and get long shots if you focus hard enough. But this corner, if you put your field of view on 120, you can simply see down both areas of the spawns all the way to the right and all the way to the left. So you can sit here and wait for someone to spawn on this side, or you can wait for people to spawn on the other side. Yeah, I understand it's a little air quotes unethical, but if it works, it works. That being said, this is not the only place you can get long shots in Rust. You can shoot the people up on top of the tower if you want, but in all honesty, here's a couple of my favorite spots. This is a really good spot. As you can see, there's a long shot at that spawn, but people are always going to be pre-aiming you and killing you like you just saw there. If you're playing domination, you can go up here and actually pre-aim the B flag because they're always trying to take B, and you can actually get a long shot from there. You can also look at people on the tower and get a long shot on them as well. This is personally one of my favorite spots up on top of this pipe. And if you're able to get over in this corner and pre-aim that spawn, you're freaking golden. But that's not where I ended up getting platinum. Where I did end up getting platinum is on the ground, shooting up at the tower, and you will see in just a second that happened. Moving on to our next pistol is the TYR. And again, all the camos for this are pretty easy. There's nothing really much to go over. I will go ahead and show you the challenges for those right now. For gold, it's pretty much the same we saw before. 10 kills without the enemy damaging you. And for platinum, you want to get 25 one-shot kills, which is basically any kill in hardcore mode. So we don't need to talk about that at all. Then for this, you get 25 kills while using a magnification scope. That is important. The one thing about that is any magnification scope works. So even a red dot is a magnification scope. It doesn't have to be a 2-time, because I know a lot of people think it has to be a 2-time magnification scope, but it doesn't. For that, simply use a red dot sight and you're good to go. I will say one thing to take note in is the trigger. So make sure you put a new trigger on this gun, because otherwise it fires the speed of smell. And the trigger you want to go with is for fire rate. You want to use this furry one right here. So use this trigger action. Don't use any of the others. Only use this one. Otherwise, the gun fires extremely slow and it's going to make every challenge hard for you. So the second you unlock this trigger action, use it. Okay, now moving on to our last pistol, WSP Stinger. For gold, it's pretty much the same. Forged, it's pretty much the same. You just want to get 25 hipfire kills while strafing. You want to go into hardcore to do that. You will die a lot, but it's not a big deal. For Priceless, 25 enemy affected with your stun grenade with the akimbo attachment. That again is really not that difficult, but I'll go ahead and show you the loadout for that. So you want to build your weapon and you want to put on the rear grip and you want to put on the akimbo attachment. I didn't really put anything else on, maybe a stock if you want to keep it a little more accurate, but you want to move quickly. And you want to start with your vest, and the vest you want to use is the engineer vest because that gives you 2 tacticals. And as we talked about before, these 2 tacticals you can throw and make it give them more damage. Just like I said in my last video for melees, throw 2 of these, go ahead and use the munition box, use your quick gloves, use your fast feet if you're in Rust. If you're in another map, say high rise or something like that, you'll want to go ahead and use your covert sneakers because people can't hear you when you use those. You'll want to go ahead and use the black light, and then you'll want to go ahead and use bone conductor. And this is a good loadout for when you're trying to do any type of affected enemy with your tactical. So I'll show you the gameplay of that now. You'll see here that I'm actually running around in 24/7 terminal, and I found this to be very good as it's not hardcore, but it tends to have a lot less sweaty players than say something like 24/7 Rust or 24/7 Shipment. I did try 24/7 Shipment, but it is so freaking sweaty. It is so crazy. So I went into something like this, or maybe even right now there's 24/7 High Rise, which is going to be a lot less sweaty players in there than the hardcore modes. So I definitely recommend doing it on one of those modes. But right here, you'll see why we built this for movement. These players, again, are not so sweaty, but if you can go ahead and get your stun, throw it at them, rotate around them, and pop them, that's your challenge done right there. And as you see, we just popped Priceless. So congratulations, you just finished all your pistols, and now it's time to move on to shotguns. So that I don't waste too much of your time, we're only going to look at the Haymaker shotgun, as it's the hardest one to get as far as camos go. For gold, it's 2 kills shortly after ADSing, which is simple. Just aim down sight and then take your shots. Get 3 hip fire kills with the same magazine for forged is pretty easy as well. But thing you need to know about that is 1 magazine doesn't mean you can't die. So you can get 1 kill, and then if you happen to die, it's okay. Respawn, get another kill, and if you happen to die again, respawn and get another kill. It's bugged, so that will count for 3 kills in 1 magazine, as long as you don't reload. Go out and get your 3 kills with 1 magazine. Don't worry too much about dying. Priceless was one of the hardest ones for me to obtain, because as you read there, you got to get 10 double kills while in tac stance. The thing that means is it's hard to get double kills while in tac stance with a shotgun because you can't even ADS. So to negate that, this is how I have this gun built out. You want to go ahead and put a laser on for tac stance. There's a few. I found that this one is the best, so I recommend this one. You can go ahead and use this barrel for a bit of accuracy and range, and then just use this stock so you can still move about the map very well. And I highly recommend the 12-round magazine because you're not going to hit every single shot. And then you can use this grip for mobility. And that's how we have it built. Now let me show you the loadout that we have for that. Kind of like always, we always use the double stun just in case you want to stun someone, get up on them, and get a double kill. Also, we're running the engineer vest. You want to use your assault gloves. You want to use your covert sneakers if you're in a quiet map. If you're in Rust, then you will want to switch out those sneakers for the running sneakers so you can move quicker because you do have a shotgun and you do want to get up close on someone. If you're on a quiet map, again, you'll want to use this. I kind of tend to use the black light all the time anyways, and then the bone conduction headset so it quietens everything down. So if someone's behind you, you can whip around and shoot them real quick. And that's the loadout for that. And I will go ahead and show you guys the gameplay of how everything played out. Again, I know everyone's first instinct is to go into shipment, but I have to say, especially for this challenge, you really want to go into hardcore. Because the thing about hardcore is you don't have to be right up on someone in order to get a kill. So it's helpful if you can get a kill from a bit of a distance. So say you can slide up on someone you've just stunned, get that kill, and then shoot someone who's a little bit further away. At least you know it's going to be a one-shot kill in hardcore. And for that, I say go to Rust. And I like to use Rust for this reason. There's a really cool method to where you can go up on top of the tower, kind of hang around, wait until you see two enemy together, stun them, and jump down on them to get a double kill. You'll notice here, I've seen multiple players, but I'm not actually throwing my stun until I see two at one time, which you saw there I did, but he happened to shoot me. So it didn't work out that time, but it does work very well. However, coming up here is a perfect example of why I said you need to build the shotgun to have a bit of long range. And that's because you'll see I come up on this player closely because I tracked him, I popped him, and then turned around to look at the spawn, and sure enough, there was an enemy player there, and I could reach out and get the double kill because I have the long barrel for the shotgun to reach long range. And here's just another example of that because I see these two guys in the distance. I pop both of them because it's hardcore and my gun has a little range. And there you have it. We got Priceless. Now that you finished your pistols and your shotguns, the next thing you want to do is your melee weapons. And lucky for you, they're popped up on screen right now.